More tariffs for China. You'll
No, no,
feel
no.
this round.
Let's do the Texas GOP.
Okay, Texas GOP.
Yeah.
Take Texas seriously. GOP anxiety spikes after retirements. Democrat gains. Republicans have long idealized Texas as a deep red frontier state, home to rural conservatives who love President Trump. But political turbulence in the sprawling suburbs and fast-growing cities are turning the Lone Star State into a possible 2020 battleground. The president's re-election campaign needs to be taken seriously, Senator Ted Cruz said in an interview. He added that while he remains optimistic about the GOP's chances, it's by no means a given that Trump will carry Texas and its 38 electoral votes next year, or that Senator John Cornyn will be reelected. For a state that once elevated the Bush family and was forged into a Republican stronghold by Karl Rove, it is it is in an increasingly uncertain time. Changing demographics and a wave of liberal activism have given new hope to Democrats who have not won statewide elective office since 1994 or Texas's presidential vote since Jimmy Carter in 1976.
It makes sense. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you really look at the numbers, like 4 of the United States' largest cities are all in Texas. It's not much of a.
And
It is a rural state just because it's big, but
but the
it is
city
by no
population is
means
increasing.
a rural conservative state.
Yeah,
Cities
it's
dominate.
gonna be a liberal state
I
in
mean,
like
cities
a
dominate
couple of years.
demographics. It's a fact of life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, you can be like, oh, well, those damn urbanites are ruining my way of life because my party's no longer being elected in the state. Well, I'm sorry, but cities have way more people than the rural area. You can stack a lot more people in tall buildings than you can in a 200-acre ranch that you own. You
Mm-hmm.
own yourself.
I mean, and
I
those
mean,
people matter just as much as you do. Their vote
yeah,
should
they
count for
really,
just as much. Just because you
yeah,
own land and have more space should not give you more power.
yeah. This isn't the inception of the country. All right, white landowning elites. They aren't the be all end all on what gets said and done in politics. Maybe that's why Trump and a lot of conservatives are definitely pro send them back because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
this demographic is scaring me. It's not funny anymore.
Demographics are done for. It's gonna flip either way, no matter what they do. Let's say
Yeah,
deport every brown person from the state.
yeah. They paint it as like they're not good for America, but in reality, they don't like it because it's gonna change demographics, and all of a sudden, I'm not gonna be able to have as much influence anymore. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking just the GOP.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think Texas would be a flip to 2020?
Not in
Oh, I don't
2020.
know.
Not in 2020.
I don't even think if Bernie campaigned hard in Texas, it would flip.
I, I'd say he'd have a chance if he campaigned hard in Texas.
Maybe that'd be a hard sell though.
That would. But look at what Beto did running on Medicare for all and
Yeah, but
living
if
with
Beto
Texas.
was running in 2020, I don't think he could win Texas.
No. No, but he almost
And
beat Ted Cruz.
almost beat Ted Cruz.
Yeah. And the demographics are shifting. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're kind of getting at this whole crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
2020, like the late 20 teens, really
Mm-hmm.
starting to become the latter half of this decade's becoming a time of change, good or bad. Shit is happening.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like the 90s whenever you're like Clinton Democrats.
Or
That's the only one.
2008 when we were promised change and got Obama.
Damn huckster. I hate, by the way, when if you're on social media or whatever and you like shit on some somebody for their argument. Maybe they're Trump's. Yeah, you shit on a Trump supporter because they say something stupid or their argument is just a giant straw man. They're like, "Oh, Obama." I'm just like, dude, I don't give a shit about Obama. I hate
Mm-hmm.
Obama as much as you do.
Yeah,
Obama's a huckster and a liar.
dude, I have conservatives come at me like that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with you.
This isn't a
Screw Obama.
partisan thing. Yeah.
Obama did it too. Yeah,
Oh,
and I think it was wrong when he
I'll
did it.
attack a Democratic president, and then I'll show him is like, oh, maybe I'm not a bona fide Democrat. You ever think about that, dipshit?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, but you have to be because you hate Trump. Because it's so polarized, it's so partisan. It's like that's what their default assumption. No,
Mm-hmm.
I hate Obama. I hate Clinton. Most of the Democrats, pretty much after FDR, I don't like. I mean, even JFK,
He was
if he
not
had
great.
lived past his or if he had lived post assassination, motherfucker would have still gotten us in Vietnam. I guarantee you, Vietnam War would have been started by JFK had he lived. I mean,
Oh,
so
it was started by the French.
oh yeah, but started
It
with more
escalated. I'm not sure
escalated.
it would have gotten to the same extent, but it certainly would have been some stuff going on there.
There would have been U.S. troops in Vietnam fighting the war. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
for the South Vietnamese, but
Mhm.
heavily fighting
So
with the South Vietnamese.
here's the thing. LBJ was much more inclined to listen to his generals in the deep state. JFK hated the deep state and the CIA and his generals because of the Bay of Pigs. So he didn't trust
Yeah, and
them.
the
So
fact that
I
their
could see a
chiefs of
world where
staff,
he doesn't do that.
yeah, and the chiefs of staff proposing JFK that the government faked terrorist attacks in Miami and shit and blame the
Mhm.
Cubans for it as justifications for invading the island.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I still think though that U.S. involvement in Vietnam would have greatly escalated. It doesn't matter.
Listen,
He would have done.
I'm not one for second off JFK. I'm not a
Yeah,
super big JFK guy, but I'm an FDR guy. Listen, I'm a New Deal guy.
I think the most. I think the most conservative type left I can go is Teddy.
Yeah, I
Even
could
though
go
he was an
Teddy.
American imperialist,
He was
Teddy.
he wasn't a Wilsonian interventionist.
Mm-hmm.
He was the type go in there, win, get out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Speak softly, carry a big stick. I like that kind of policy.
Then
Like, yeah,
Wilson
we'll
came
do
in and he's like
diplomacy. When all else
he
fails, though, we still got the stick.
see then
We don't
Wilson
start
comes
with
in
a
and he's
stick.
like, "Listen, all of you savage backwards countries, welcome to democracy."
Yeah, we will enlighten you. It's like congratulations, you're being saved.
Wilson ruined American politics completely. I blame him
Yeah,
for most
Woodrow
of our
Wilson is my
problems.
least favorite Democrat.
He's my least favorite president, period.
Yeah, really. Fervent pacifist
The,
gets us
on, the,
into World War One anyway.
the only thing that I like about Wilson is that he put FDR in his cabinet.
I know, and
Was
he's
he? What
also
was
like
he? Junior Secretary of the Navy, I think he was.
something like that. Wilson was also like a historical revisionist too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
being a Southern Democrat, you can already tell what entails from that. I mean, the
Yeah.
dude thought Birth of a Nation was such a stunningly accurate representation of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the new Birth of the Nation. I'm talking about the
No,
old
the
one.
old one, the
All
original
the dudes
black and
running
white
around in
blackface.
blackface, like
Yeah.
the KKK guys in hoods running to save the day. He thought that was a stunningly accurate
Mm-hmm.
representation of what happened. It's like, what? But I mean, can you blame him? His father wasn't he a pro Southern Democrat? Not like
Mm-hmm.
politics, but like his father was around during the Civil War.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, dangerous ideas coming out of that man. And he won 2 terms, sadly.
Yeah, even though he was
Oh, poor
paralyzed for
Teddy.
most
Why'd
of
you
his
have to
second
die
term.
and also lose the election?
He was gonna run in 1920, but he died.
Damn.
Damn.
The only person that could kill Teddy was Death himself.
Yep.
Had to do it in
But
the
yeah,
night, else they would
Texas.
have gotten a fight.
I know. But Texas, I'd say give it like another decade. It
Yeah,
could be a
8 years. I give it 8 years.
yeah, and it could definitely be a battleground state,
Mm-hmm.
which is
2028 election. I expect it to be purple.
mhm. Just like Florida's becoming, it used to be about, it still is a battleground state, but it's becoming increasingly Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I hate the Democratic Party, so it's like either
Yeah.
way, who do you
And
want to get fucked in the
I
ass by more?
listen. I need someone to take over the Democratic Party and get
Both
its
parties.
Democratic. Yeah, yeah. Well, I
It's
mean,
like now it's a problem with both parties. They're just
yeah, I agree. But the Republican Party is gonna die a slow death, and I feel like it's gonna be reborn with some new ideas.
hopefully
I
the
think it's
alt
gonna
right
be. I
doesn't
think it's
take
gonna.
control of
It's not
parties
gonna be an alt
policy.
right party. I think it's gonna be a paleo conservative party.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's a party that's more inclined for compromise. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Democrat president comes in, Mitch McConnell's like, all right, we got 8 years of flatly rejecting anything and everything Obama proposes. What? He's your president. You're going to work with him on anything? I don't like Obama either, but still. Like, if he has a good idea, you shouldn't not support it
Oh, I
based on
hate
the
that about
principle.
both parties. Listen, if you agree on somebody on the issue, you should vote for it no matter what party you're in. Oh, the votes are always split on a partisan divide. It's not like they're actually looking at the issues and weighing what they think would be best. It's they're voting, oh, is that a Republican bill or a Democrat bill? And then they vote based on that, not on the
Yeah,
actual contents of the bill.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like the trade war with China. Democrats, you see it during the debates,
Mhm.
especially the establishment Democrats. They don't like. I mean, John Delaney's like, that's not good for American business. I'm like,
Tim Ryan did not rule out tariffs, and he was like, "Listen, I don't like the way Trump was doing it, but you can't just let China run around like that."
yeah, people don't realize how much that the U.S. is in a position of power against China. Not
Yeah,
China, the U.S.
China's
is.
not.
Anybody that brings up U.S. debt is retarded. What is China going to do to our? What are they going to call in that debt? Well, all we gotta say is no. We're not gonna pay that debt
Mm-hmm.
back. We could freaking yeah. We are in the position of power. China exports way more to us than we export to them. So
Mhm.
if we just cut it off and we encourage our European allies to stop trading with China, we encourage Vietnam to stop or trade less with China. I mean, we put the squeeze on them. What is China going to do? Approach the European Union and be like, don't trade with us. Trade with us. We're great. Everybody loves us, except for the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, but that's
Yeah,
neither
and
here nor there.
Do you think Germany's going to choose China over us? Who buys? Who? Listen, we're the largest consumer economy in the world.
Yeah,
The
we
Chinese
literally,
aren't buying German cars; they're buying
All right.
crappy Chinese cars.
yeah, in China and India, there is not a lot of foreign imports. They produce a lot of their own. Like in India, there's a
Mhm.
lot of car brands I've never even heard of. They're all just domestic Indian car brands that you don't
Mhm.
see outside of India.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are you gonna trade with China for, Germany? We buy your Volvos, we buy your Volkswagens, all right? Italy, we buy your Ferraris,
Mhm.
we buy your Rolls Royces and shit. England or
And
Great
Germany.
Britain, yeah,
That's
it's
Rolls Royce is England and Germany.
oh yeah, we should, if anything, well, I mean, we should be producing more of our own consumer goods. It's
Mhm.
better for our economy, but aside from that, we need to get more. I think we should shift more on strangling China out of world markets and focus more on European and American export and import.
Mhm.
We should anaconda plan their ass. Squeeze them out. Trade war is
Yeah.
a good thing. China is not a very friendly nor progressive state. Cooperation and friendship with them should not be desired. Just like with the Sauds. We shouldn't take Saudi oil. We shouldn't
Mhm.
give them millions and hundreds of $1 million in arms. It's like, it's the principle. They are, we're not a great state either, but way better than the Saudis. We don't behead gay people in the streets.
Yeah, throw them
Mhm.
off
We're not a
buildings.
surveillance state like China. All right, there isn't a camera literally in every single nook and cranny in
Listen,
town.
we need to make our minimum wage a living wage, and then we need to demand that anyone also does that.
Mm-hmm. It's, yeah. Trade with China are people that profit from themselves.
Mhm.
I do think that something needs to be done about U.S. agriculture that gets harmed, because a lot of our export to China is agriculture, but there's other markets for that. You telling me that there's nowhere else in the world where people are hungry for food?
Hmm.
They can afford it. We can find other markets. But
Mhm.
yeah, that is something that is bipartisan, and I definitely, and the Democrats, especially establishment Dems, they just don't support on the principle that it's something that the GOP is doing. It's ridiculous. Bipartisan or
Mhm.
partisan politics are killing this nation. But I mean,